welcome, vibrant living community. My name is Sabine Quenberg, and today, for our Tune In Tuesday, I have a wonderful lady on the line to do this interview with me, Mras. And without further ado, let me introduce you to her. Mras is a powerful survivor who guides her audience to overcome self-doubt and find motivation from within to reach their full potential. She is an inspirational keynote speaker, speaker coach, communication trainer, host of the Mental Shift podcast, and is the author of Eat, Drink, and Be Merry, a glimpse into a life well lived, and it's not luck, overcoming you. Michelle has been awarded the Inspirational Women of Excellence Award from the Women Economic Forum, New Delhi, India, the John Maxwell Team Culture Award for Attitude, and has speaking parts in a few movies. So check it out at imdb.com database, just put in her name. Michelle has been featured on hundreds of podcasts, radio programs, and several magazines. What drives Michelle? If you ask her, she'll look at you with a bright smile and respond, every day is a gift. And I love it. And I know when I saw Michelle the first time, her bright smile really struck my heart. Tomorrow is never a promise. I live every day as if it is my last. Live fully, share love, be the best version of you. So please welcome Michelle Mras. Michelle, how are you today?
Thank you for having me. I am fabulous, of course, because every day is a gift.
I love that. I love that. And you know, you inspire so many people. You have been a fellow Toastmasters, or you are a fellow Toastmaster, just like I am. We both are DTM, Distinguished Toastmasters. So I know exactly the route that you took. And we just learned that we actually started at the same time in 2010, right?
Yes, it's awesome.
That is awesome. Yes. Well, Toastmasters is another wonderful organization for everybody who wants to hone in speaking skills or just get more confidence, period, right?
Yes, and actually right now they've gone online. So they're doing online meetings so you can reach any club from any place in the world.
That is fantastic. So if that's just on a little side note, if you want to check out Toastmasters, definitely do it. But I wanted to go on with interviewing you, Michelle. When I saw the books that you wrote, and especially Eat, Drink, and Be Merry, a life well lived. This is what our community is all about. We are all about a vibrant living. How can we have a vibrant life, a healthy life, a life full of joy? And so I thought that would be great. So what do you think, or what do you do about how to live a well-lived life?
Well, I did my whole TED talk on it. That's what the book is based off of. And it was from lessons I learned from my mother-in-law, Mary. Eat, drink, and be merry. The reason why I did that was because I always watched her. She was my math teacher in high school. I met her in the Philippines. She was my math teacher. And I watched her and I used to think, this lady's kind of crazy. I mean, she was always just doing random things. She spoke multiple languages and she was just so quirky from my very structured world. And as I learned more about her and became her friend, and then she was my mentor and then became my mother-in-law, there were things she always said. She would always say, you have to have a plan, but be prepared for that plan to change. So have a long-term plan, but be okay that your path changes. Must have a plan. The other thing she always said was eat dessert first.
I love that.
I love that. But what she meant was not just eat dessert, really, but Enjoy the little things in life. This lady would wear her diamonds, her real pearls to the grocery store. She used the fine china every day. She would wear like really fancy dresses in the middle of the day, even if she wasn't going anywhere. And so if you watch, I kind of do the same thing, because you never know, you keep saving things for a rainy day. Stop. Every day is a special day. Every day is the rainy day. Just do it. Enjoy
Absolutely.
it.
Yes, I
Yes.
love it. I love it. And what you just said, it makes so much sense because I've seen it too in my family, like the opposite way.
Oh,
Saving your best on for Sundays, or as soon as you are back in your home, just dressed shabby, nothing against comfortable clothes,
no,
don't
comfortable
get me
is good.
wrong. Yes, but yes, you're absolutely right. Bring out the good china and wear the good clothes because it makes you feel good. Absolutely, I agree.
Yes. I mean, think about it. When my husband and I used to wait till Larry, once a month when we would go out on our special date, we'd get all dressy, and we'd have the fine wine and drink out of crystal glasses every day. And now every day is so special. It's that mindset of getting yourself to your best version of you. You stand better, you smile more, you feel good. And then the third one was that she used to always say is the differences between a rut and a grave, Michelle, are the dimensions.
Hmm.
So what she meant with that was, if you do the same thing all the time, what you're doing is you're walking in this rectangle. Wake up, have your coffee, drive to work, complain about work, go to lunch, go home, and you just keep doing the same thing all the time. Just what you're doing is you're building your own grave by digging a hole. And what you need to do is, whenever you find yourself in such a pattern, break it. Step out of it ever so slightly. So every once in a while, take a different route. Every once in a while, don't put sugar in your coffee. Just try something different every time. And it doesn't have to be big. But what that does is it gives your brain the ability to realize, I'm not set. I can grow. And the
I
reason
love
that's so important for entrepreneurs or for women and for anyone wanting to improve their life and to find a vibrant life is we have to make our brains realize, I'm not stuck where I am. I won't break if I try anything different. And those are the
absolutely.
three things she told me that have absolutely transformed my life once I realized what she was really teaching me.
Yes, I love it. Absolutely. Because for many, many people, they are so set in their ways. And it also depends on the kind of person that you are, what your personality is. Mine is, I've always tried different things and I am just the oddball in my family. But most people, when you talk about that square, most people live really a boxed life. They start out in the morning getting their box cereal breakfast. Then they go and drive in their box to work. Then they sit in their box cubicle. And then they eat their box lunch and they drive back in the box car and they come home and then they sit in front of the box until they go to bed. Whew.
And they start all over again.
Yes, exhausting. So I love it. So everybody who wants to get some inspiration, I definitely would recommend to get Michelle's book, Eat, Drink, and Be Merry, to get a couple tips to really step out of that box, step out of, or what I call it when I work with my clients, and is getting out of that hamster wheel that we are in. We're not going anywhere. We're repeating the same and same and same. And that's why it's important to self-educate, to get a coach, to do something that can help you break out of that cycle. So I totally love it, love it, love it. But now, Michelle, let me go to another topic, because I think you can share your experience with our viewers here that can be very powerful. You had a bad accident that left you with a brain injury and you couldn't walk and talk for over a year. So how did you overcome the struggle, and what was the defining moment that turned things around for you?
Well, what's really strange about that is I wrote Eat, Drink, and Be Merry during that time period. I wrote it in my head. So when I couldn't walk or talk, my brain was still processing inside. Just I couldn't speak. My brain, I lost my frontal lobe over my ear, the back of my head, and my two hemispheres disconnected. So I couldn't make the language come out of me, or I couldn't write it. So I really wrote it in my head. And my book helped me realize that I was more than I was allowing myself to believe I was. So when you're trapped in your head, every inner critic in your mind tells you how unworthy you are. You think that they're loud now when you're uncertain, get trapped with them, and they get very, very loud. So what happened with me is to overcome is time meant nothing to me. So hours and hours, let's say 9 hours would pass, and to me it was 30 seconds. So I spent a lot of time in my head not realizing I was in my head. And I did a lot of reassessing. So after that year and a half, when I came out and was able to speak and walk again, that brings you to the defining moment. I don't know how religious anybody is, but I was suicidal. I couldn't speak, I couldn't walk. Every time I moved my head past my shoulders, I would fall. And the doctors basically wanted to put me in a helmet and strap me to something so I wouldn't fall anymore. And I'm a very active human. And in that time period, I gained, I think, a good 100 and something pounds because I couldn't move. And I got really depressed. And I remember sitting in my living room very clearly. For someone with no memory, I remember this. I was sitting in my living room and I was screaming at the universe, God, the universe, whatever's up there, why do you hate me so much? Why? If you wanted to kill me, then kill me. And I said that in my head. And at one blast of a moment, every cell, every molecule, everything, I heard a voice. And in my TEDx, I heard my mother-in-law's voice. But what I heard was this big booming voice that said, you're not dead yet. Get up.
Wow, that's very defying moment, I shall say.
So I got up. And what's funny is I normally couldn't get up. I got up and I didn't fall. And when I heard that, and I can't explain it because it happened so fast. I heard the voice, and in that split second I heard that voice, I also saw every time I thought I was alone, every time I thought I had fallen, every time I thought I should have died, all of those times I saw. And in each one, I was never alone. So I fell to my knees and I said, thank you for whatever I've gone through. Thank you for every trial. Thank you. And I just, thank you for beating me up is basically what I was doing. And my husband said when he came home, I was sitting at my computer saying, I have to speak. I don't know about what, but I have to speak. And that's the only thing I can remember. I had to speak. That was my defining moment. I was told, get up. You're not dead yet. Speak. So here I am. I got up. I walk through any door that opens. I say yes to pretty much everything that comes my way because I don't know where I'm going right now. I don't know what I'm supposed to do except speak.
We are so glad that this happened to you, that defying moment, because I truly believe that we all, each one of us, no matter what it is, no matter how big or how small the challenges, the adversity that we go through, there's always a silver lining. There's always that we learn from it. And the only thing that's important is to ask the right questions. This is what my mentor told me, is ask the right questions. Don't say why, rather, because that sometimes can get you into the victim mode, but rather say how, what can I do? What is mine to learn? How can I get out of this situation? Show me the way. God, show me the way. Universe, show me the way. Whatever you want to call the higher power. I like to call it higher power because that is a very general term that everybody can relate to, because I truly believe that there is higher power in our world.
Well, and actually, when you said that question, I did ask a question in all that screaming.
Yeah.
What do you want from me is what I said. What
Good.
do you want from me?
And you know, you're absolutely right. We go through those processes. First, we are in victim mode, say, why me? Why me? Why didn't you kill me in your incident? Why? But then something switched. And then we start talking about, okay, nothing I can do about it. It is what it is. I cannot change the past. I only can change something now to make a difference in the future.
Change
exactly
what's
your mindset.
here in your head.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so this is what you went through. And then you say, okay, how, what can I do? What can I do? And the answers came, and we are so glad. And what you said in your book, like the inner critics, if we can give one advice to our viewers, to our listeners about the inner critics, because we all have those, what I call chattering monkey voices. You're not good enough. Or what do you think you are? And ta 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 ta. And what is your advice how to use the inner critics, not to shut it out, but how to flip it around?
I often say when I'm speaking, embrace your inner toddler. Now, the reason I say that is because when you put a cookie on a shelf and you tell a toddler, see that cookie? Don't get that cookie, and walk out of that room. What will that toddler do?
Get that cookie.
Get the cookie. So what I do with my inner critic, well, inner critics, what I found with them, and that's why I wrote that second book, was, oh, I have to tell you that bit. The reason I wrote that second book was because right after I started talking and speaking, I found out I had breast cancer. And then I was only given 3 months to live. So my inner critics got louder. The ones that were still there got louder. And what I found was when they said, you're not good enough, why are you even trying? They weren't telling me, you're not good enough, don't try. They were asking me, you're not good enough, why are you even trying? The inner toddler in me would say, I'll prove it. And I would find a way to do whatever I thought, whatever the world told me I couldn't do. Remember, I have a brain injury. I have 4 parts of my brain gone, and I have 3 months to live because I have breast cancer. I found a way. What I did in those 3 months they gave me to live, I accomplished every bucket item list I had, because every time one of those voices came up in my head, the little 3-year-old in me would say, nuh-uh, I want the cookie. That's my goal. I want my cookie. And I would find another way. So when you have that inner critic voice come up, remember, it's not telling you don't. It's telling you, prove it.
Yes.
Take it as a challenge.
Yes. I absolutely love that take on it. So just prove it. It's kind of the underdog advantage. Mm-hmm. One of my mentors, Dean Graziosi, wrote that book, and he shared in this book also all the being an underdog, thinking, oh, I cannot beat this, or who do you think you are? You can never do it. He was had dyslexia. So now he is a author of several New York bestseller books, right? Because he used his underdog advantage.
Find a way.
Yes, and basically it's kind of the same thing, you know, listening to this inner critics that say, oh, you can't. Let me prove you wrong, right?
I want my cookie.
Absolutely. And and that's what I love about our vibrant community here. That's what I love about like-minded people. They're always looking for solutions.
Yes.
We are looking for solutions. What can we do? You know, how can we overcome an illness? How can we get out of this situation? And there are many different ways out. For me is what you just shared, the positive mental attitude is, for me, it's the number one. But at the same time, exactly. Yeah. But at the same time, it's not just our mind. We just cannot say, well, I'm getting better or doing this and this and this, but then shoving cookies and to use that sweeties into our a body and not taking care of our body. So we have to do.
Yeah, that it's a mindset plus movement. You must make a positive movement. If you watch my website, if you look at any of my videos, remember I told you I was 389 pounds. I had to change my mindset, and I'm no longer 308. I am a whole different human. So I promise, when you go to my website and you say, who's that lady? That's not the lady. It's me.
Yeah, I love it. And one of the things is there's so many alternative solutions out there, how to get well, how to get strong, how to improve your immune system. And I know many in our community using those alternative methods to stay strong and not just basically taking responsibility. And that's what I have done not my whole life, but at one certain point I said, this is it.
Yeah.
And I swear, the past 20 years, maybe not quite, but the last 10 years, I have not seen a doctor. I've not been sick because I changed the way that I live, that I eat, that I supplement, and what I do on a daily basis. So taking responsibility for your life is the number one.
Yes. And then in the past 5 years, I've had the polar opposite. I've went from never seeing a doctor to I've had 7 surgeries in the past 3 years, 7 major surgeries. And you still have to take command of your own life, of how you're feeding your body, how you're moving it. And, what are you actually allowing to be put in your body? And then keeping that mindset of, I'm in a lot of pain. Okay, I've been in a lot of pain. Do I sit here and just eat bonbons and just give up? Or do I get up and keep being healthy even though it hurts? You keep moving for your betterment. Don't do the why me and curl up. Do the of course me and stand up.
I love it. And what you just said is really going in line with what I mentioned earlier. First of all, you had an accident. Accidents happen
All the time.
Right? And I'm so grateful for the surgeons that we have that can help us in this situation. But then through the situation, you gained the weight. And then let's not, what's the word that I'm looking for? Oversee that we are, or take aside that we are living in a toxic world. So toxins are being put into our body. And when as we get up in age, obviously, we know that the repair is going down, but the damage goes up. So we have to balance that out. And what you did through your diagnosis of breast cancer, you're obviously still here, even after just saying, oh, you only have 3 months to live, which, by the way, I don't like that at all. If somebody gives you that prognosis.
No, I told them, and so do you have a direct line to the universe or something that I should
Exactly. Good response. But you took action. See, first of all, you did everything on your bucket list, and then you probably had a regimen that you did that helped you give your body anything it needs to fight that cancer cell, because there are alternatives out there. There are.
And one of the biggest things, and that's why I always tell people, and that's why I like the vibrant, your community. I got very into meditation and yogas and things because I needed to tune into who my body really was, what my body really needed. And my body will tell me if I put something in my mouth, it'll do, nope, don't like that. Mm-hmm. Or I'll put it in, it'll say, oh no, I like that one. And so if you listen, if you pay attention, your body tells you exactly what it wants and doesn't want. It's amazing what your body can do. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, our bodies are really miracles.
Perfect. Yes.
They have everything to repair itself. What we as the humans do is sometimes, and I'm guilty as I speak, abusing our bodies. Our body is our temple. Okay, says our soul, our body is our temple. So we have to be very, very mindful of what we do. And if we give our body everything it needs to repair itself, we are good to go. And we can say we can live a longer and more vibrant life, even into our old age. And that's what I'm all about.
Well, I have to interject because there's something something told me this, and I can't remember who told me, but she says, so when you get a cut and you put a Band-Aid on it, does the Band-Aid have magical powers to heal you? She says, when you break your hand, like me, I broke my thumb.
Mm-hmm.
She says, does the cast have magical powers to heal you? No, your body heals itself. What the Band-Aid does is keep germs from coming in, okay? All this cast is doing is holding my thumb in place. If you give your body what it needs, it fixes itself. I mean, we've been giving proof all of our lives. Here's a Band-Aid, you know, here's a Band-Aid, here's a cast, here's a sling. Your body heals itself. Believe in it, trust in it, let it tell you what it needs and feed it right and keep moving. And for those of us who are all locked in our houses and stuff, keep moving. And all the more, you know, people keep joking, oh, I'm going to be eating junk food and drinking all day. No, don't do that, because your body will get used to it and you will lose all the progress you have. So keep being normal. Do everything like you normally would and improve it, because now that you're more sedentary, your body's going to feel it. You'll get headaches, you'll get achy. Take care of you now. More than ever, take care of you now. There's a lot of stress going on in your head. Your body is taking it on. Take care of you.
That's right. And I think this is a perfect note of finalizing and finishing our interview here today, because this is what we have to do. Take care of ourselves first, putting on that oxygen mask first, right?
We get to. It's a privilege to take care of ourselves.
Yes, absolutely. I like it. Yes, yes, we get to. And that's one other thing. And I'll finish up with that, because oftentimes if we have to do something, oh, I got to go to work. I got to work out. No, change it to, I get to go to work. I get to work out. Absolutely. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, your insight, and your presence today with me and with our community. I say all the best to you. Keep that beautiful smile. And I'm sure we will hear more from you.
I hope so. Thank you.
You're welcome.